Welcome back to another short Legacy League where we have Eldrazi Stompy versus Grixis Delver. A huge thank you to the Patreon supporters who are helping the league and YouTube channel. If you would like to become a supporter, please click on the link in the show notes. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Number 1, where both players have kept 7 and Cam is on the play, leading off on a Scalding Tarn. We'll see a Once Upon a Time in response, or before he even plays his land, so during his upkeep, that way he doesn't get dazed. I'll see if Owen has anything to follow up that Once Upon a Time with. It's just a Wasteland, and let's see if Cam's going to fetch into it. He does, but he does at least get a Surveil trigger to see if there's a land on top of the library that he wants. It is a daze indeed, but he does have 2 more lands in hand, so he's going to be looking in pretty good shape here at the moment. No early threat deployed, so Eldrazi is definitely a little bit of ahead, and we'll see a Chalice on 1 and a Brainstorm in response. We do know he has the daze, so he can just return that land to his hand and play another one. Cam has a Force of Will, Lightning Bolt, and a Daze, also a Fatal Push, Underground Sea, and back to the Volcanic. And he picks up a fetch land, giving off a little bit of information here. Not too big of a deal. Another Chalice. Let's see if he has a Force for it this time or a Daze. So he's going to fetch, and we're going to see a Lightning Bolt. Feels like he's just trying to burn a little bit of mana there, and that's what he does. Pass back over. So the Chalice on 1 did resolve. Now Owen needs to capitalize on what's going on. He does have a Blast Zone in hand, but it looks like he's a little short on mana. So we could see a Kozilek for 0? Question mark. We'll see a Force on that, and the Kozilek is declined, or not declined, but Force of Will declined by Cam. And let's see if he is going to make something out of this. He finds a Wasteland of his own, and it looks like Owen is in the hot seat now. He does pick up an Ancient Tomb, so just a little slow still. He's not going to be able to get anything really going out on the board. He does have the blue kicker, Eldrazi, I'm not sure what that is, in his hand. We've got a Ponder, a Fatal Push, and that Chalice is really putting in work here against Cam. And it looks like he picked up a Wasteland, and now we're going to see a Blast Zone deployed along with a Glaring Fleshraker. One of the better cards out of the Modern Horizons 2 set that is going to probably catch a ban. Alright, Cam just lays down his hand showing all of his 1-drops, and we're probably going to see okay, we got the Micro Spawn coming this time. So he's at least going to go get Eye of Ugin, so now his color spells are going to cost 2 less. He's got a spawn off the Fleshraker. Cameron takes a damage off of it as well. So Owen definitely finding the right side of his deck at this point after some Wastelands and a double Chalice on 1. Cam draws, packs it up, seeing game number 2. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Game number 2, where Owen's on 7 and Cam is on 6 on the play. See him lead off quickly with a fetch Ponder and see if he likes what he sees or if he's going to put it back and shuffle. That was a pretty rough game for Cam in the last match with the Chalice on 1. So it looks like he might be trying to get ahead of potentially getting Chaliced again. He'll have to keep those Dazes and Force of Wills readily available. It looks like he's already done that with a Daze in his hand, and he has 2 Frogs there as well. See a Once Upon a Time out of Owen into a Cavern of Souls. So he's got double Cavern of Souls with a Petal. We'll see a Wasteland right off the bat from Owen. So just trying to punish Cam as much as he can. Cam finds another fetch land, so Owen is definitely going to be having to put pressure on him in a different way. So let's see a fetch. Hopefully that was that end step. Cam playing with his hand upside down. He's going to cast a Brainstorm at the end step. He does have a fetch to fetch it away, so hopefully he has multiple cards in his hand that he wants to hold on to. And it looks like it's a Daze. Is he going to Daze the Petal? He does Daze the Petal. Interesting. There's nothing worse than getting dazed when you play the Petal, unless he was trying to pull the Daze out of his hand. But with a Cavern already in hand and in play, he didn't have to worry about too many counter spells, unless he's trying to get a Chalice on the battlefield at some point. So, alright, Yavimaya, everything taps for green now. A Chalice on 1, that's what he was looking to do. Cam sets himself back another turn, and readily handles the Chalice. Fetch, Wasteland Proof. Did he just pick up another Chalice for 1? I think he just got another Chalice. Maybe. He did. He found the second Chalice, and it is not going to be able to be dazed. We see a fetch, picks up looks like a daze just then. But he has a frog, so the frog will definitely not be affected by that Chalice there. Alright, so let's see what Owen has in store for Cam. He does have green mana, so he can kick a Microspawn if he wants, I believe, with that Eldrazi Temple in his hand. And now he's going to play Territory Color. We've got a reader here, just like Cam's doing right now. Apparently it's landfall, and you guys can read it, and girls can read it, and folks can read it. But it's a 7/6 with reach, which is kind of gross because you can't Fatal Push that for its mana cost, as well as... Alright, well, now we have a bigger... Alright, now we've got something going on. We've got an 8/8 Murktide in play. That 7/6 Devoid creature does not look quite as bad as it just did. So we got landfall trigger here. He's a Kozilek's command, and he's gonna play a Thought-Knot Seer, and it's cannot be countered. So he's just checking to see how the wording works on that. He gets to see his hand. He's gonna just discard everything to the frog that the Thought-Knot could take, and leave a land in hand. That man knows what he's doing. Immediately not punished by... Well, okay, he's playing he put the Brainstorm on there. That's an interesting play. He can jump the frog, but the frog will trade off with the 7/6. But okay. Yep, frog does its other dance where it exiles spells out of your graveyard and then makes your Murktide bigger. So incoming 10/10 Murktide and a pass back over to Owen. He will be able to jump that frog this time because he'll be able to jump the frog because it's the Reacher's gonna have to block the Murktide here. So green mana, sacrifice for another Yavimaya. Got a landfall trigger here. Taking a peek, what he likes. Sees a Sowing Microspawn, puts it in his hand. So the Kozilek's command can absolutely take care of the frog that's in play. And so what he's going to do, he's going to do it for 4. And he's going to exile the frog, and I believe he's going to make 4 tokens as well. So, yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, so total of... Well, is that 4 or 3? Because it costs 2 colorless. Oh, he floated the green. Okay, off of the sacrifice. Yep. So frog is gone. And he's going to make 4 spawns. And we'll probably see a kicked Microspawn here as well. Going to get an Eye of Ugin. So he's going to use 4 of them. And just cast the Microspawn with... So he made it for 4. Okay, that makes sense. Made it for 4. Swung out, it's got the maze in hand. Cam rips a Wasteland, and that maze is no longer in play off the Microspawn. We'll see a swing for 10. And that will be game number 2. See you in game number 3. Game number 3 with Owen on the play keeping 7 and Cam keeping 5. Owen leads off with a really long-worded forest in foil. See if Cam can get this game going a little bit faster than he has been before. Haven't seen any Delvers this whole match yet, but we do see a Stalactite Stalker, which is very good at the beginning of the game. He's able to at least get through 1 or 2 times before too many Eldrazi come into play. We've got a Sowing Microspawn, and we're going to see a Force of Will pitching the Daze. The Microspawn goes, but the cast trigger does resolve. I wonder why wouldn't he just Daze there as opposed to Force of Willing? He also would have saved his land there as well. So, alright. Let's see how Cam recovers from this. And a Wasteland for himself, and attack for 2. And then that Stalker is going to go up to 2 counters as well. Owen's just sitting on a basic at the moment, but his deck does make mana pretty significantly. And Blast Zone is in play on Owen's side. I am putting up the cards that we're not quite sure what they are, or they're proxied to where we can't tell what they are. So Stalker in for 3 this time, and it is now a 4/4. Owen definitely needs to stymie what's going on here. I wonder if he has an Ancient Tomb or something along those lines, so he can activate that Blast Zone. So no fast mana land, but definitely finds a way to eat a bolt, I guess I should say. See if he's going to be able to get this Stalactite to go up again. He is not, so 4 damage across. Still stays as a 4/4. We should start to see more advantage from Owen here. In-step Brainstorm from Cam. Needs to find his next threat because the Blast Zone is about to go off. So a heads-up play from Cam would be to Wasteland the Wasteland, because it takes him off mana, as well as he'd be able to... so he's going to go after the Blast Zone, which is going to cause him to immediately pop it. He must have another 1-drop in his hand, I think. He does. Alright, Delver, the namesake of the deck, has arrived. I think we all remember this guy being a blight for us all. 4 mana in the pool, coming down with a Thought-Knot Seer. What do we have in hand? It is a land. So that is not leaving play. Flip, blind flip with a Brainstorm. So Cam living the Delver Dreams after turn 5 or 6, and gets a blind flip Delver, and we're on our way past the Blast Zone. Has a Brainstorm in hand with a fetch available, so if Thought-Knot Seer comes over, it's going to be a little difficult to him to hide it. There's a Thought-Knot. See if we Brainstorm and find something we like or we don't want to disappear. So let's see what he does. Alright, he keeps his Surveil land. So when I was editing the video, I noticed that he kept his Surveil land, and he's going to fetch it in-step anyway. So I think probably the right play there was just to take a fetch land and fetch the Surveil land. That way he can reset the top of his deck as well as get the Surveil land and set up his next draw. So I don't know if that was intentional or if he didn't see that line, but it's definitely something I noticed when I was editing the video, was taking a fetch land as opposed to taking the Surveil land would have allowed him to set up his next draw the following turn and have an untapped land this turn if, for whatever reason, he needed it. We got a Maze of Ith, so he's got to find a Wasteland. 8 damage coming across on Cam. Cam goes to 9. All fetch lands are turned off at this point. Lethal is on the battlefield. And we see a Price of Progress. That Price of Progress looks like Owen can Wasteland one of his non-basic lands, and that'll take him to 4. And then he'll be, because he has a basic forest, he'll be able to attack for 4 with the Thought-Knot Seer. Actually, he'll be able to attack for 8 with the Thought-Knot Seer next turn, and then he's able to keep mazing the Delver. So I think if Owen would have held, or just would have Wastelanded one of his own non-basic lands, he could have definitely won this match, but I don't believe that's going to be the case here. He's definitely thinking about what he can do, and I probably think he's just going to scoop it up. He does, he gives Cam the win, but it was not a win he had to give. He could have just taken 4 damage there and killed the Delver. Thanks for watching, see you next time. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.